Buffalo brother George, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Buffalo brother John.
Playoff football.
Another season is here.
Yeah.
Is this how many in a row are we going now? We won 5 championships in a row.
And then they also made the playoffs once as a wild card before that started. So in a row, I think you're talking 6 years,
Oh my
if
God.
that's right. Do we have five East championships?
Yeah. And after that drought,
17 years. Yeah. Yeah.
and look, I got a
All
new hat,
started.
John. Even though it says 2020 AFC East champions.
Must have been on clearance.
I don't know.
It
It could have been.
but it's a good looking hat, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
And I got Buffalo Bill. I'm ready to go.
They're ready
The
to go.
playoffs are here.
Ready to go.
And Josh Allen isn't going to win the MVP. Did you see where Lamar Jackson now got the starting job as in the Hall of Fame? He's this
Hall of Fame.
not Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Pro Bowl. He's a first string quarterback.
Oh, okay. Got voted for sure. Okay.
And the last 5 or 6 years in a row, the first string quarterback has always won the MVP. And the same people that vote for that vote for MVP. So they're pretty sure
Okay.
Josh Allen, who's
Well,
a runner-up,
people,
not
regular fans get to vote for Pro Bowl.
well,
Uh, is it all pro?
yeah.
All pro. Oh, maybe that's different. Okay. Okay. No, I didn't see that at all. Did that come out today or yesterday?
It came out today, and I
Well,
say, yeah, the guys that I saw it on Locked On Bills, and the guys that the people that do the voting are the same people that vote for
MVP. Okay.
So, you know, it's okay with me. Lamar Jackson had a fantastic season. If he wins MVP, good for him. But I know Josh Allen and the rest of the Bills organization, they're looking for a Super Bowl.
I'm sure they are.
They're looking for playoff victories. And I know they want to get past the divisional round game. And they can't past the divisional round game till they get there. And that means winning this week at home against Denver in a wild card game.
Yep. That's right. That's right. All right. So big game, 1 o'clock. You've been looking at the weather every day. You check and see what the weather forecast is for Sunday. So what's the forecast?
Well, right now, it snows on Friday, it snows on Saturday, it snows on Monday, snows on Tuesday, doesn't snow on Sunday. Okay, there's like a window in there, but that's okay because that means more in the air game.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We like air.
And you look at these two teams, and it's easy to question Buffalo's defense against
Anybody.
anybody.
Yeah.
But they're healthy. It's the first time they've all been back together in quite a while, and they're going into this very healthy, so they can't blame it on injuries this year.
Hopefully there'll be no blaming. Hopefully they'll just be winning.
Yeah, that's right. And they've Denver has a really good quarterback. This kid,
Mr. Bonix.
Mr. Bonix, had a rough start, but he's finished up this season extremely well, and he's played great football. But their game is throwing to their running backs and throwing short to the wide receivers.
Yep.
That's their game. And Buffalo,
Lots of completions around the line of scrimmage.
we're going to have to watch.
Lots of screens.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch
Guys
Buffalo
in the flat.
and see if they play like we've seen in the past, which is 10, 15 yards off the receivers
Mm-hmm.
and let these running backs get a screen and our defender is 10, 15 yards deep. We'll see. We'll see if they can handle that. I personally think we're going to see a more aggressive defense on the Bills' part.
Okay. Okay. And so sometimes what we see with the Bills defense is it can be a little vanilla at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they seem to find a way to shut some stuff down as the game progresses.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're thinking? Or you think we're going to come right out and be more aggressive from the snap?
No, I think you're going to see what you normally see, which is a little more vanilla early in the game, and we'll Bo Nix is a rookie. He may have the he may have his juices so high
Mhm.
that he's not accurate, or he's this or that, or the Bills defense might throw a few wrinkles at him and get him messed up.
Okay.
So I think they're going to give him time to see if this kid is going to be good in this game, or if this kid is just like all hyper and it's his first playoff for Denver in like 9 years, and this may just be their season and their start. Okay, this is the start to a good team, and they're going to build on this. Get a playoff game under their belt. They may not win it, but
Okay.
go
Okay.
forward with confidence.
All right. So, what do you think are the keys to Buffalo Bills victory?
Well, I think the keys to the Bills victory is you're going to think it's crazy.
I would not. I might.
Getting a lead
Okay.
and then letting the Bills front four tee off on them and not be worried so much about a run game. Put pressure and exotic pressure on this Bo Nix.
Right. So, I want to make sure I understand. Would it be fair to say that if Denver scores first, it means they're going to win?
No,
Okay. So, what do you mean by get a lead?
I think the Bills are going to have to stop them if Denver gets the first possession. They're going to have to hold them to no more than a field goal and not give up a touchdown on that first drive.
Okay. Okay. That seems fair. And then what about the Bills' offense and going up against their defense?
I think on the Bills' first drive, they're going to have to get a touchdown. I
Okay.
think they're going to do it.
So, okay.
I think they're going to do it by doing what they always do. They're going to use their backs in a run game, and we're going to see them use their backs in short passes, and we're going to see um, Cooper
Every,
and Coleman.
every time you hit the table, you
Oh,
shake the camera.
sorry. We're going to see Cooper and Coleman going down the field. Josh likes to throw, and we're going to see him do it.
Downfield
Downfield
passes,
passes.
Cooper and Coleman. Okay.
He's
Okay.
going to soften them up with these little shots, some runs, some short passes, some play action, and bang, he's going to go deep.
Okay. You got any specific keys to victory?
I think the
Can I
Bills.
get three keys to victory?
Okay, the Bills are going to have to rush for 150 yards. Now you got Cook, you got Ray Davis, you got Ty Johnson, you got Josh Allen,
Okay.
and if they
Yes.
if they can rush for 150 yards, means they will be controlling the ball and having time of possession and keeping this new rookie on the bench.
Okay. And any other keys? Or just you just said it's gonna run.
I think
I asked for three, so you got two more if you want them.
okay. I think you're going to have to see them using the backs out of the backfield in the passing game.
Okay, okay. Well, so 150 yards rushing, utilizing backs. Are you talking? I get you. Yeah, are you foreseeing screens or just a variety of
A
passes?
variety of
Bubbles, passes?
yeah. It could be bubbles, it could be wheel routes, it could be screens, it could just be a dump off if the other guys are not open down the field.
Hmm.
But use their backs. And even though I'm saying the Bills need to rush for 150 yards, that means two things. Number one, they keep Denver off the field. They can't run for 150 yards if the Bills can't run for 150 yards if they're sitting on their bench and the defense can't stop Denver.
Okay.
So the Bills got to stop Denver. They can't let them score in any more than four possessions.
Okay. Well, four possessions could be 28 points.
That's right.
Which
It
is the
could.
point.
I don't
But
think
but
it will,
could be
but it
12.
could. It
Could be
could be.
12.
Yeah. I think it'll be 14, 17, 20 points for Denver.
Okay.
But I think the Bills are capable of scoring 30 points or more against them.
All right. Are you done? Do you have another key? So you got 150 yards rushing, utilizing the backs in the passing game.
3 sacks. We
The
need to get
key.
3 sacks against Bo Nix
Okay.
and take them down when it's third and long. Don't let them get the ability to get that short fourth down. If it's third and 11, don't give up 10 yards.
because they'll go for it.
They'll go for it. Sure. They're going to want, if they're going to have to. They're in the first playoff game in years, and they might be behind. They're going for it. So don't let them get those long plays on third and long. Don't let them get the ability to run for get to close the gap and maybe have a fourth and short.
Okay. Let's see. So I got my three keys would probably be the Bills have like the Bills have one of the worst. The Bills defense has one of the worst the amount of yards they give up on third down.
Mm-hmm.
They're towards the bottom of the league, and that has hurt them and hurt their ability to get off the field. So they're going to have to force punts. Got to force punts. I understand we would all like turnovers, and that would be great. But success on third down in particular, which in turn hopefully will turn into forced punts, it can get very aggravating if you stop them on third down and then they just get it on fourth down.
That's interesting. That's interesting. We both see the importance of that.
You got to get off the field.
Mm-hmm. You got to get off the field.
Yeah. Bo Nix completes a lot of short passes. We watched specifically watched the Cincinnati game that they just played a couple weeks ago, and boy, they utilized the pass to set up the run, but the pass was the left, pass was right, pass was left, pass was right, over and over again. It's screens, very effective screens.
You remember the stat that I found I gave you? It's like Bo Nix has thrown for a lot of yards this year, but
after the catch,
66% of the yards have come as yards after the catch.
Yeah, Denver.
So he's not throwing very far, but his playmakers are.
They may not
are running the ball.
They may not lead the league in yards after catch, but they're up there.
Yeah,
they're in the top 5
Yeah, they're way up there. You're right.
That also helps Bo Nix have a good completion percentage. Very short passes.
Yeah. And on the Bills' defensive side, you got guys like Bernard.
Well, I'm still giving my keys here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I got two keys.
Okay,
have success on third down, and we're going to have to find a way to cover the short passes because as a defense, we like to let them complete the ball in front of us, but they will just eat you up and move right down the field with that. And I don't know because the short passes, it's hard to get to him. He does not get sacked much. So I don't know if that solution to these short passes are pressure or if solution is man-to-man defense or just tight zone. But they have to figure out a way to disrupt his passing so he doesn't just keep completing passes and they keep running after catch. On offense, we have this everybody eats philosophy, as you know. But I agree with you. Running backs, I think, are going to be very important in this game. Denver has a very good front four. And if we can utilize running backs both in running and passing, that might really loosen up because they like to play a lot of man behind it.
Okay.
So if we can force the defensive backs into a position where, like, we may not, our wide receivers don't necessarily do pretty well against man-to-man because they don't have natural skills that make them automatically great route runners to create separation. But if we could force them, because we're having a successful running attack or short passes, if we could force them to play some zone so that their defensive backs are looking into the backfield, well, we got all kinds of wide receivers that do very well against zone. So I think it is kind of imperative for, like, you had picked out running back usage. We did not talk this ahead of time, but I'm also going to say running back usage. I don't know about 150 yards or how many yards, but enough work with the running backs, enough success, both running and passing, that it forces them to have to use defensive backs to cover them and to help bring them into the box to stop this shit.
And when they do that, I think that's later in the game when you see Coleman and Cooper get open a little bit down the field.
Yeah, any time in the game. That's really so. Those are my three keys. But I would say that anytime if they have a chance where there is a guy open, or they should take
Mhm.
because if they hit somebody deep early, it puts them in a scoring position, which is great, and it forces those safeties to stay back.
Mhm.
Um, so anytime I'm with you there. If the success early allows us to hit something late deep, that's great. But if it's open early, take it
Yeah, right.
because um, you that possession. You had talked about them scoring on 4 possessions. I don't. If Denver has their way, there's only going to be 4 possessions a half. So that would correlate to them scoring on half their touches, half their possession. And the Bills are going to have to do something like that as well to stay ahead of it, right?
The Bills could score on 6 possessions.
Well, that would be fantastic.
And that's
That
kind of what
would be
I'm thinking.
fantastic.
And what I was trying to say earlier, I interrupted you when you were doing your keys, was that on the Bills defensive side, we've got Matt Milano, we've got Bernard, experienced linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Benford on one corner and Rasul Douglas on the other corner, experienced corners.
Cornerbacks. Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to know how to play and defend against this short pass game.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see, yeah, how they do it. Yeah.
And you're going to see Denver then trying to go deep against, maybe against our safeties. And that could be a problem.
They have Mims. Is that who
Mims,
receivers?
and he is a number one receiver.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
And he's by far the leader on that team in catching and receiving yards.
We saw a play that he ran in the second half against Cincinnati. Cincinnati played cover two, and they saw him coming. He lined him up in a slot, and he ran a post pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And in cover two, they couldn't cover him. He ran right between them and just blew past him.
Yeah.
That I'm sure that the Bills will watch that because it was only 2 games ago, so that they'll see that, and it's got to scare the hell out of their defensive their safeties. So I'm with you there. The defense across the board, I don't know that we have a great defensive front, and our defensive backs have to make up for that. This is the time, right here, right now, when Bedford didn't get put on the Pro Bowl. Well, here he's the only team playing is 1 o'clock on Sunday. They're the only game. Go prove that you are a top five cornerback. Go prove it. His contract's coming up. If he wants to get paid like a top five, go prove it. Get those turnovers, get those pass defense, shut somebody down. If they continue to not let him even do that, they don't even call a defense where he could because they got him 10 yards off or whatever, then they're also showing why would they pay him for that?
Yeah.
They could get somebody else to do that. So they got him in the 5th round. They could get somebody else to do it.
Denver's tight ends are not that strong. Certainly, they can catch a ball. Anybody can catch a ball, but they're not that strong. They don't count on it that much.
We didn't see anything notable per
Yeah.
se.
So Bills are gonna have to stop their running backs and their 2 wide receivers, or 3 wide receivers, if you want to call the slot guy. And you've got to shut down there with Teron Johnson. You've got 2 other experienced cornerbacks. You've got 2 experienced linebackers. DeMar Hamlin at safety. He's probably our most experienced right now. He's not a number one safety. He's not a starter. Let's say it. He's not a starter, but he's probably the best we have.
Okay. I know
and he's been around long enough to know where
there's
he's
been
supposed to be.
speculation that they might maybe not start Bishop, but we might see Bishop out there quite a bit in order to get his athleticism on the field. I don't know. We'll be watching, see if that happens. All right. Do you have a score?
Yeah, I think it's 30-20.
Okay, that seems reasonable. I got 28-24, and I'm thinking it's close at the end. I'm thinking
that's
close
sometimes the Bills defense go into that prevent mode and they give up a touchdown late, and 28-17 all of a sudden at the end of the game could be
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's close. Like they're winning 24-21, and we find a way to get a touchdown at the end.
Okay, well,
I'm talking about a close game.
okay, I don't see it that way.
No, good. I hope you're right.
Not in Buffalo, not on Sunday. I think Josh Allen is going to be the man of the hour. I think he's going to run when he needs to run. He's going to throw when he needs to run, to throw. And I think their offensive line is going to be good enough to take out the Denver defense. Denver has some great players on their defense. There's no question. And overall, they have good numbers. But you got to look and see who they've been playing. You got to look at their schedule. That doesn't mean they're the Baltimore Ravens defense. Even though they're ranked way up there, they're not playing the same teams.
Well, I know I didn't say anything about them being top five.
But they are.
They
That's,
have.
that,
I talked specifically about the defensive front,
Mhm.
and there's some bears on that
Mhm.
front.
I also heard today that when you look at their guys on their front line, it's similar to ours in that they're a little undersized for their defensive players.
Okay.
And I think our offensive line is going to handle them.
Let's hope so.
So
That'd be great.
I really have confidence in this game, and like I said, 30-20. I think it's going to be. I think Denver will score. I think they'll have some big plays, but they won't have a lot of big plays. I think the Bills will have consistently a lot more consistent yardage, longer drives, and more deep plays.
Okay. You got
Big
anything
plays.
else?
I just say let's enjoy this game. We know what it's been like in the divisional playoff round, which is coming up after this. So enjoy this game before they got Baltimore.
Well, that's a here. Look, last year they got, or 2 years ago they fired the offensive coordinator.
Mhm.
Joe Brady came in with this everybody eats. In the offseason, I was a little concerned because to me it looked like they didn't have a lot of talent.
Yeah, everybody eats means they don't have
But-
anybody good enough.
But this is what they've gone with. I mean, they in the offseason they had a chance to hire another coordinator, and they did not. This is what they wanted. So if this offense doesn't get them past this game, doesn't get them past the divisional round game, then it was off or not. Like really, they did this on purpose because this is the way they wanted to go. Let's hope it works, because if they don't get to a Super Bowl, it's just another year that they've wasted the talent,
Well,
wasted Josh Allen here.
one of the things one of the things you can see on that Denver defense, that guy Patrick Surtain,
Mhm.
outstanding cornerback,
Right?
a true shutdown cornerback.
True shutdown corner.
We don't have a true number one receiver. We got a lot of okay guys. So who are you going to put Surtain on? He's kind of like my what I'm trying to say is he is overqualified for the job that he's going to be asked to do. He's going to get on somebody and probably shut him down. Who's he going to shut down? Is he going to play in the slot against Shakir and
Sure.
leave Coleman and Cooper?
Well, right
He's going to
now,
get on Cooper.
I can't imagine that Denver is concerned about the Buffalo Bill wide receivers.
Oh, I think
So
they
what-
should be.
Why would they haven't done anything to be concerned about? Like, what have they done that would make Denver be like Denver has Mims. Mims has done things this year. He's a true number one.
They've scored a lot of touchdowns.
He changes what a defense can do, how a defense approaches them. We don't have anybody like that.
You see,
And that's fine.
Cooper who can make one-handed catches. You've seen Coleman go up and take balls right out of the sky, and you've seen Shakir come out of the slot and be very dangerous over the middle.
And that's fine. That's all fine. None of them changes how a defense covers you.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think that Surtain can cover somebody,
If he covers
but he
Cooper,
can't cover the other two.
if he covers
And I don't think their other guys are good enough to cover the other two.
Well, that's what we'll have to find out, right? Do they have Wallace as one of their cornerbacks? Is that right? Like, is he a backup or is he a starter? I think he's on their team.
I don't know.
And but we were more than willing to let him go after 4 years of watching him. play defensive back.
I know their second cornerback, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name, is not rated that well and just really struggled
Well,
this
let's
year.
see if the Bills can take advantage of it.
I'm thinking they can, especially if they're
Well,
using their backs a lot and then they draw these guys in, which I've been talking about this all year.
yeah,
Sounds like the same thing I've been saying all year.
yeah. So we'll have to see if it works. Like that's what they brought this offensive for, right? It wasn't to win 13 games of regular season. It was to win games in the playoffs.
If you,
So
you know,
that either works or they've wasted another Josh Allen
if
year.
we send out four receivers and they're playing them man on man and they go down deep, Josh Allen's going to run out of that pocket like a wild man.
Good. Okay. Great. We've got
10,
lots of
15,
weapons.
20
Great.
yards downfield, and then
You said
you're
150.
gonna see the yardage add up. Bang,
You
big, click,
said
click, 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 click,
150
click.
yards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said that they needed to run 150 yards.
Yeah, well, if he runs 60 or 70 of it,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
yeah.
that's great. But that would be a good sign that um they're following along and following along your prediction.
And I think the home field advantage this week is going to be huge. I think a team's first time in the playoff in years. None of these guys have probably been in the playoffs on Denver, or if any of them have, just a few of them. And going on the road is going to be tough for them.
I know they have some youth. Obviously, the quarterback, two of the defensive front guys, I think, are both rookies or second year guys.
Wide receivers
The
are
wide
young.
receiver is only a second year guy. So, um, every year teams bring in numerous veterans. How much playoff experience these guys have, I don't know, but um, on the Surtain has only been with them, so he hasn't been in the playoffs yet.
And let's say Denver does have good coaching.
Yep.
So that can be a factor.
Hopefully, they will be predictable, and McDermott can defensively could design some stuff to
Yeah.
kind of shut it down, and offensively, Brady can take advantage of it.
I don't see this as a game where Josh Allen's going to come out in the fourth quarter and Trubisky's just going to hand off. I see this as a game that it's going to take four quarters to win. We're going to have to stay ahead of them. We're going to have to stay attentive and intent on winning the entire game, not just three quarters, and let the other team back into it. But I think they will.
Okay.
I think
Playoff game.
I think we're past
there's
the
no
13-second
excuses.
people. Yeah.
There's no excuses for them not to. Well, we're past the 13-second, but our coordinator now is maybe worse. With I mean some of the ridiculousness that we've seen,
And so many of
special teams.
guys on our team, both offense and defense, have been in the playoffs for a number of years now. So they know playoff football and they know what it takes. They know what they got to do. And
They are experienced at winning at home.
mm-hmm.
They are experienced in losing on the road, and they have even lost at home. So
Mhm.
they've got that down. They got every year they get two games, so they got like 14 playoff games under their belt.
Yeah, right.
Some of those guys that have been with the team as long as Allen's been there.
All right. So 28-24 for you, Bills, and 30-20 for me, Denver.
All right,
Enjoy the
everybody.
game,
Enjoy
everybody.
the game and go Bills.
Go Bills!